Thank you for joining us on another edition of the Red Pill Diaries. We have a very, very special guest today. They tried to prevent us from getting him on the air. They were messing with the times, the date. But let me tell you, I gotta give the props where props are due. When I first reached out to this man, it took him less than 45 minutes to get back with me. Less than 45 minutes. And he immediately said, of course I'll do the show. Of course I'll do the show. So I have to give credit. And I'm going to hopefully we can bring you in just a second. There we are. Gregory Mannarino. We pay homage to the internet stock market guru.
No. I should be doing that to you, man. I'm nobody. I am nobody. I'm just a guy who loses his mind once in a while, I'm sure you are well aware of. But no, thank you for having me. I am more than happy to be here. Glad to be here. I was worried we weren't going to get together, but here we are.
I'm so grateful. And let me tell the people also that'll be watching us later that with all the tricks that were being played, he hit me up in my email and said, hey, let's do it now. Let's do it now. and I mean, I'm like, okay, give me 15 minutes. It caught me off guard because I was like, the show probably won't happen today because they're messing with everything. But I mean, right on the money. So let's get right into it. Hey, I was feeling, as a matter of fact, earlier this morning, I played 2 of your videos from YouTube, especially when you were going off and you were saying that somebody's inside the federal chairman's butt.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would say.
Yeah. So could you inform the people exactly what is going on? Because we're looking at different musicians in the same chair. When you get one president out and one president in, and it seems like they're both working in concert to put over the same policy, even though they seem like they're against each other.
Well, I've been saying that for the longest time. I don't believe that there is a 2-party system. I think it's one party. I think, they put on a different suit. They put on this show for the people trying to, look, it's a divide and conquer mechanism. That's what it always is. It's always been that way. You get these people to hate these people and these people hate you back even worse. It's just the same story throughout history. And that's what we're seeing now. It's a shit show. I don't know if I can say that,
yes,
but
yes.
It really is. It's an absolute clown show. It gets to me because I see it very clearly for what I believe is the truth. And I just sit here and try to spew out of my mouth what I'm actually seeing here. And then I think the bigger picture is, telling people there's something that you may be able to do about it. Don't be fleeced. Don't lay down. Open your eyes. Realize what's happening to you. And I think, sadly, that most people have no clue. They have no idea. And they get angry. They lash out when you try to explain to them that, this is all by design. Everything we're seeing, nothing is by accident here. And, I hope people are going to wake up. But I really don't know what we can do. We're so far beyond the point of this not ending in a terrible way for everyone that, again, I think, and I've been saying this lately, it's almost like every man or every woman for him or herself at this particular time, at the same time, trying to get through to people that maybe can understand what's going on, get together with like-minded people, because I don't think we've seen anything yet with regard to where this whole thing is going here. Clearly, we are in an economic meltdown. Not just here in the United States. This is a global phenomenon. They shut the economy down by design, allowing the central banks to finish what they started, especially the Fed in 1913. All of it, it's theater. What this politician's saying and it's just all of it is designed to keep people off balance, off guard, distracted, not focusing on the important things. And again, this is nothing new. This is a mechanism that has worked for thousands of years, and it will continue to do so. This is how people have been manipulated since time in freaking memorial.
Now, I get a lot of flack because I try to hold President Obama to the same standards that I hold everybody else to. I get a lot of flack about this. In your opinion, why does he get a pass in implementing some of the most detrimental policies to not only the middle class but Black America. Why does he get a pass for that?
Well, look, sadly, okay, the mechanism of divide and conquer always works, okay? And unfortunately, certain groups of people get the short end of the stick. That's really the truth. And it's a horrible thing. We have not outgrown that yet. I sincerely hope this will change, but it's a terrible thing to witness. It really, really is. It's a terrible thing to see. Now, going back to Obama, I was I voted for the man. Everyone knows that. I turned out to get somewhat disappointed because I didn't like the. See, look, I'm going to tell you why I took flack. The number one reason why I got flack when President Obama and the Federal Reserve at the time, they had to do something to restart the economy. Okay. They had to do something. So what did they do? They started QE1. I had no idea that it would go into QE2, QE3, Operation Twist, and it never stopped. That's when I started to say to myself, hold on a second here. Something's wrong. The market is not being allowed to work. So when the market's not allowed to work, you get distortions and it creates imbalances in the economy, inequality in the economy, going to what you were talking about. So this, I mean, look, this has been going on for a really, really long time. But under these two guys, we've seen this get monumentally worse. And it's all these distortions. And I think what's happening here with the social unrest going on, this is people that have frankly had enough. They have had a freaking enough. And they're losing it. As Gerald Celente says, when people lose it all and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it. So that's really what we're seeing here. And a lot of the manifestation of it is, again, people lashing out at each other for all kinds of reasons. They don't like this guy's skin color. They don't like the way this person talks. They don't like this person's religion. So they've managed to get inside our heads and managed to foster a very unhealthy environment where people here, instead of coming together and realizing that we are one family, where I don't care where you come from, I don't care what you look like, nothing. We are a family of human beings. And, we're not being allowed to see that. It's all about divide, conquer. What can they possibly do to make people angry, to keep them distracted? Because all this stuff is going on right under people's nose. The fact that we're in an economic collapse right now, but we're being told we're in a super V recovery. We're told that we're adding jobs, which is a complete lie. We're not adding anything. We're in free fall. But again, the bigger a lie becomes, I think the easier it is for people to believe it. And they do. But it's a pathetic state of affairs that we are in here. And I don't think it's just here in the United States, because I talk to people all over the place, all over the world. I interact with people, and it's everywhere. This is going on everywhere. But you wouldn't know that watching the news. You would think everything's just contained in the little box here in the United States. Turn on any of the news channels. Yeah. You can't see anything that's going on around the world because they want to keep people in the box, not seeing what's going on anywhere else, not concentrating on real issues. What they are is, again, getting people angry. That's really what this is all about right now. And look what they're doing, stringing people along with the carrot. $1,200 check, it's coming. No, we're taking it back. $1,200 check, here's coming. No, we're taking it back. I mean, this is getting under people's skin. A lot of people need this cash. I understand that people can't pay their bills. People can't, feed their kids. I've been warning about this for a decade, that we were going to get to a moment like this. And here we are. And we're watching a large group of people that once was vanish. That is the middle class. The middle class is virtually extinct at this particular time. We're going into a two-tier society, like I've warned about for over a decade, literally over an entire decade. A massive wealth transfer like we've never seen before in the history of the world. And this is why people are getting up in arms. They've had enough. They're suffering. No one wants to help them. But Wall Street, doing great. The corporations, stronger than ever. Bonuses, bigger than they've ever had. Does it make sense to you that?
I'm sorry. You hit a point here, and you were talking about how Wall Street It's like at all times highs. The corporations are getting all of these bonuses. Why is it okay um for like certain people to like, how can I phrase this, like for them to give out packages to the already rich or the major corporations, and yet, as you said, string along the people in the mud? Why is that?
Well, I've explained to people for a very long time that we were going to see a society of extreme haves and
Uh-huh.
extreme have-nots, and this is how it's manifesting itself. You know, what we're witnessing here in the United States is a very dangerous phenomenon. We're seeing these corporations now merge with a new government philosophy, and this is by definition, this is fascism.
Uh-huh.
And under this new thing that's developing, again, people aren't paying attention to this, but this is what is occurring here. So in my view, when this is complete, and they haven't completed this merger yet, when it is complete, that's when a new set of rules are coming too. But the rules are always different for the Wall Street people, for Wall Street, for the corporations, for the banks. I mean, for example, bank after bank after bank gets caught red-handed rigging the market. I mean, what happens? Does anybody get arrested? Does No. They get a fine, they get a slap in the wrist, and guess what? They continue to do it. But if you or I were to get caught manipulating a single stock price or something, you know, you and I, we'd be in handcuffs and in jail in the blink of an eye. But no. There's a different set of rules for them and us, and that's unfortunately the way it probably has always been. But it's more in our face today, I think, because I tell people, look, this is going on and it's in your face. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to sit there and watch my TV and listen to the people there tell me what's really going on. Duh. Are you kidding me? No. You need to listen to shows like yours where people are sitting here and able to think outside the box and say, hey, something is really going on here. I don't know. I kind of lost hope in a lot of ways that people they're not waking up to the degree that I had hoped that they would. I really believed years and years ago when I started talking about this that maybe we could start some kind of a revolution. Maybe we would get enough people together that could see behind the curtain at what's really going on. But the truth of the matter is, it's been an uphill battle. People don't want to face it. They don't want to deal with real issues. They want to be lied to. They want to be propagandized. They want to be told fake news. They want to be told everything is fine. Meanwhile, it's really not. But it's terrible. This is terrible.
One of your friends, Gerald Salente, he was being interviewed about 2 or 3 days ago, and he was talking about the situation, and you could see the passion in him. He was frustrated with how things were going, and I forget the lady's name that was she was interviewing him, and she was talking, and he was talking about that how bad it is and how bad it's going to be, and he said this thing can be hell on earth. What is your opinion on that?
Absolutely. It is hell on earth for a lot of people. You know, I can say just here I live in Las Vegas. I've seen the homeless population explode. Virtually on every corner in my neighborhood, there's people out here begging. We had behind my house here is a big, huge field. They had a Hooverville back there, you know, tents, people living out there. People in my neighborhood are selling their homes. They can't afford their mortgages. Okay, so this is big. This is hell on earth for a lot of people already. But in my view, and I would have to agree completely with Gerald Salente, because he is the man. Let's say that. He sees where this is going. It's very simple, I think, for people to see that they think, if they believe that we're going to get another bailout here, which is coming, there's going to be one, and then that's going to be it. Everything is going to be fine. No, there's going to be another bailout followed by another bailout. And all this is about really is empowering the central banks, especially the Federal Reserve, who their goal since 1913 has been to be the lender and buyer of last resort so they can own the world. That's it. That's why we have the debt-based economic model. That's why the debt-based economic model will always be here. It gives them power. If we were to have a wealth-based system, let's say backed by a commodity, gold, because it's the most stable asset in the world, it would give power back to the people. But we, the people, we're nothing. We're a means to an end for those that are the overseers, whoever they might be. And again, because we're moving in quickly into this two-tier society here, it's a feudal system. Like we've seen this three-tier society with the middle class. This is a new thing. It's only a couple of 100 years old. Throughout history, it's always been the ruling class and the serfs. That's where they want to go back to. That is their end game. And that's why we're seeing the stock market inflate the way it is. While we're seeing suppression of metals the way that they're doing it right now, the rigging of these markets, the rich getting richer than they've ever been. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me how we can have a free fall economy with the stock market near all-time record highs, Wall Street doing better than they've ever done, record high bonuses for the banks and for the corporations, and people in the United States are literally dying. Does it make sense to you? I'm sure it don't.
It doesn't make sense at all. And you were talking yesterday on one of your, you wouldn't, I could see the frustration in you because I believe at one time you had hope that maybe Trump would be different. And now it seems as though you are just exasperated with him.
I am. I voted for the man. I think people know that. I've admitted it. I had hoped that President Trump would be candidate Trump. Candidate Trump was a different guy than the guy that's there now. There's just no doubt about it. All he's done is foster this wealth transfer. Just the gap here between the rich and the poor is unfreaking believable. America has not been made great again. He did nothing with regard to reining in the Federal Reserve. All he did was take over what Obama was doing because it worked. Prop up the economy by adding epic amounts of debt instead of reining in the Federal Reserve like he said he was going to. What was he saying? Let's go negative with rates. Let's weaken the dollar. Has he explained to anyone how that would help them? No, of course it wouldn't. And unfortunately, I'm not sure it's going to change. I don't think it's going to. It's gotten too far now with regard to the end game, which is simply, in my view, to have a two-tier society, the super rich and the people on the other side of it. And unfortunately, I don't think it can change. Again, maybe I have lost a lot of that hope I once had. I believed in a lot of things here. I believed that Obama would really make a difference. He didn't really achieve what I had thought he would do. Obviously, Trump, I'm very, very disappointed with him. He hasn't done anything that he said he would do. Of course, he's done some things. Both presidents did do some good, okay, because, that's their job. But, people say, well, Greg, you're omitting all the good stuff that President Trump has done recently. Well, you know what? Rah, rah, rah. At least he did one thing he was supposed to do, or two or three. But for the American people, what is this? What is going on here? And then he's pointing fingers. It's China's fault about this virus. Are you kidding me? Who's buying that? You think China who did this? Did China benefit from this? No. I mean, it's all the distractions, it's the lies, it's the misinformation. Yes. So, I am very disappointed in President Trump. I had hoped, and I reached out to President Trump, say, listen, your economic advisors, they're imbeciles, every single one of them. I will help you for free. Not that I know everything, but these guys that he's got, no president in the history of the world could have picked more imbeciles than this president has chosen. President Obama actually surrounded himself with some people who had a brain. That's really the truth. But this guy, I think he's done it because he wants to feel like he's the smartest guy in the room. He went out of his way, President Trump, to pick the stupidest people he could find, in my view. And he was saying, I'm going to put the greatest people in there. Greatest. We're going to be so good. We're going to win, 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 win. Really? How does it look now?